Page 94, Heartbreaker. It's the first piece of a new chapter, chapter 6, and it looks like we're going to be doing a lot of stuff in the key of A major, which is 3 sharps, but I'll talk about that when we get them because this piece is not in A major. This lesson gives me a chance to talk a little bit about dissonance. We have consonance and dissonance in music. Consonance is when the harmony sounds fine, no problem. All the notes fit together, it sounds okay. Dissonance is when it doesn't, when it sounds a little edgy. A second, that's dissonant. A third, that's consonant. A fourth is consonant. A fifth is consonant. A sixth is consonant. And a seventh, that's dissonant. We have the 2. And it's kind of going back and forth between these because the dissonance causes tension and the consonance releases it. Let's talk about this piece. We get a lot here. A lot of course, it's been around since the beginning of music, but a lot of the new music that's being done is mostly dissonant. It's interesting, huh? So let's look this over. It's a page and a half long, treble and bass clef, no sharps in the key signature, so it's either in the key of C major or A minor. Well, if you look at the end, the last chord is this. Well, that didn't help because that's neither one. I mean, it has all the stuff for the C chord in it, but also has an A and a D. That. So, you know, normally, most of the time, a piece will end on its one chord, but it doesn't have to, and this is an example of that. That's not a one chord in any key. So we look around a little more. Overall, C major and A minor sound different. C major's here, A minor's here, but just the harmony is different. Well, in the first measure, they give a C chord. That doesn't mean a lot because a piece doesn't have to start on its one chord. It could start on anything, but it is a C chord. But the next measure, it's an A minor chord. You think, well, that didn't help either. So you're kind of going through listening to what overall is the sound of the harmony, and it comes out to be C major. So do the scales for C major and A minor. The videos I showed you, okay, we'll do that. 4/4 time. Let's take it one head at a time because this has some challenges in it we need to overcome. Right hand, and again I want to connect everything if I can. I can't, but I try. 2, 3, 4. Rest, 2, 3. And then the thumb crunch up. And reach down again, but back down here. Okay. Measure 9, you have 2 beats of rest, excuse me, come up here. B flat. Now, I'm going to suggest you come down, if you can, and use 3rd finger on the F. This is measure 12. I don't want to use thumb here because I got to use thumb in the next measure. I'd rather not. Sometimes you have to, but I'd rather not. So either 3rd, this way I'm closer, I can reach it. If you can't do that, then use 2nd. Either one is better than thumb because even if you can't reach it, you're closer. So either 2 or 3 on the F. I'm going to use 3, I got big hands. And then going. Now measure 17, same thing, an octave higher. And again, for measure 20, I'm going to use 2 or 3 on that. Even though I still have to move. I got to move. I don't want to use thumb. If I use thumb, my hand is here, and I got to go from here to here. If I use one of these other fingers, my hand is a little closer. See, my hand is now here, not here, it's here. It's a little closer. Even 2nd finger is a little closer. It just helps a little bit, so I'm recommending a 2 or a 3 on the F for measure 20. Left hand, you got all these triads in root position, which means you're going to be moving around because you're here, lift up in here. Your hand is pretty much in the same position, You're just moving around. So your hand's staying the same and just lifting up and move. I typically, when I do this, I'll just aim one finger. I'll let the other fingers go. Which finger you aim, I don't care, it's up to you. Try the little finger. Try that. And the reason I chose little finger is because in music, the melody is up here on the top doing its thing, typically. And you have the bass line down here. And those two are what's really important. All this other stuff in the middle is harmony stuff, but it's the bass and the melody that need to be heard. So that's why the little finger is playing the bass. That's why I'm focusing on it. And so I'm aiming that. You have to look down, of course, for this, but that's okay. Measure 9, just coming up here. Now I have minor chords, the middle note comes down, it's still 1, 3, 5, 5, 3, 1, whichever, here. And the measure 20 is a D flat, F, A flat. You can do that, or you can do that, depending on whether you want your hand up here or not. Whatever finger. And then here. You get that same chord, and then next to the last measure at the bottom. And then here. The last chord, you would expect it to be a C, but they lifted it up. Gives it a different color. Then put the hands together. So I'm connecting this, even though I got to lift up. Now, how long you take to move your hand is up to you. But don't take too long. It's not like a quarter rest. Don't give it a full beat. So I'm giving it a full beat. That last beat in the right hand was by itself? No. Maybe a half a beat or less if you can. So when I play that last quarter note, I'm still down here, and then I come. Get the idea? I'm connecting the left hand as best I can. I can change the fingering and do a better job of it, but we need this practice at moving around here and guiding one finger and letting the other fingers go along. Just make sure you let the wrist collapse a little bit or you'll tense up. I don't want to move. No, let the wrist collapse a little bit. Stay relaxed. Once I get the notes and the rhythms and all that, I think about the articulation. Here is the phrasing. You're going to lift up between them. Lift up. Just lift. It's like taking a breath. Of course, if you have a quarter rest, you have to lift up. So lift up between the phrasing. Left hand connected as best you can. Then the dynamics, they apply to the melody. In this case, it's the right hand. MF at the beginning, mezzo forte, sort of loud. These chords need to be soft. Measure 9, you go up to loud, just a little louder than where you were, and the left hand can come up a little bit, but keep it in the background. Now come back. Now moderately soft at measure 13. The left hand's very soft. Measure 17, you're very soft. Left hand is super soft. And you're ending it very soft. Well, once you get into it, and you're not thinking about notes and rhythms and all that, you start getting into the music and feeling the music, you can get a little louder and softer if you feel it that way. Just stay in the area where they're telling you to. So you don't have to play the last two lines on page 95 at very soft. Get a little louder and softer if you feel it. I might go on to here. Come back down. I might feel that motion. Go. If I feel it, I'm going to play it. I could do the same thing elsewhere. feel it, experiment. Speed, moderato con rubato. Well, there's that rubato again. Moderato is just in the middle somewhere. What's it feel like to you? Now, the quarter notes are going to want to slow it down a little, but the half notes are going to want to speed it up a little. So you got to have somewhere in between there where you can, both are okay. The rubato thing, I can't do rubato. It's speed up and slow down if you feel it. But keep the beat overall the same if you can. I'm terrible at it, so it's better to leave it out if you don't do it very well. But if you want to play with the rubato, you go right ahead. I've added pedal. Here the pedal is an effect. They want it all misty and blurry. Typically, I would not want to blur up this. I would not want to blur that up. But for the overall effect, the composer apparently wants it blurred. The overlapping pedal, push the notes down first and then the pedal. Change it after you play the notes. Like so. If you want to hear the phrasing, you gotta lift the pedal up with the right hand for the phrasing. Like on measure 4. Lift the pedal. Just a speck of silence if you want to hear the phrasing. Otherwise, you overlap the whole thing. Like on measure 8, if you want to hear the rest, lift the pedal up with the hands. We get 1 beat of rest. Or cover up the rest with the pedal. It's interpretation. Different people will feel it differently. They will play it differently. You try it out both ways, different ways, experiment. How do you like it? You don't always have to play it the same way every time. That's one way of doing it. You don't need to copy me. You get into it and feel it yourself. Remember the natural accents. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Feel these natural accents. I exaggerate them so you can hear them better. You just want to feel them though. Let's play this together very slowly and check our notes and rhythms. I'm not going to use the pedal in the play with me because you can hear the notes better without the pedal. But you can use the pedal if you want. It's up to you. I'll give us 4 counts. I'm not going to do louds and softs because we're not performing it. We're just checking notes and rhythms. 1, 2, ready, go. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 4. 1, 2, 3, rest. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, rest. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4.